Nice to see you again. Today I have a special guest. We have Liz here, and she's going to learn to sharpen a really basic, simple kitchen knife we have here today. How are you, Liz?
I'm good, how are you?
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
All right, you excited?
Yeah, I've never sharpened a knife before.
All right, well then this is the place to learn. So today I'm going to teach you a method that I call, or we call, the Carter-Stanley Method of Sharpening. And it's a method that Murray Carter and I put together, and we've taught it around the country. And today I'm going to teach it to you.
Cool.
So what do you know about knife sharpening?
Not much. You sharpen your knife.
You sharpen your knife. Well, what we're going to do is called hand sharpening.
Okay.
And we're going to use a stone. This happens to be a stone that I made. And we're going to put this stone on top of the stone holder here on the kitchen countertop and spray some water on top like that. The water just kind of sits there on top of the stone. And I'm going to teach you how to use this abrasive to grind away the surface of the knife at the edge and make it sharper.
Okay.
What does it mean to make it sharper?
To make it so it's easier to cut through things.
Yeah, that's true. Make it easier to cut through things. Perfect. In the physical sense, what we're going to do here is we're going to put a triangle on the edge. We're going to sharpen it out to a point.
Okay.
All right. So I have a memory aid for you.
Okay.
Always thank polite people in Japan.
Okay.
Can you say that?
Always thank polite people in Japan.
All right. If you can remember it, if you go to Japan one day and you're at a loss, just say thank you. Even if it doesn't seem like it's the right thing to say, just say thank you.
Okay.
It works really, really well. So as a memory aid for sharpening, always means to assess the knife.
Okay.
And what that means is to look at it. First of all, look to see if it's clean or dirty. If it's dirty, get a Scotch-Brite and clean it up.
Okay.
And the next thing to look for is to see if it has any chips in it.
Mm-hmm.
Hold it up to the light, hold it up to a wall or a blank surface, and see if it has any chips in it. You don't see any? Do you see any?
Not really.
Yeah, well, it's not too bad. So there are a couple ways to look more closely.
Mm-hmm.
One is to take the knife and just drag it over the end of your fingernail. Do you have fingernails?
Yeah.
Want to try this?
Sure.
So just very lightly, just perfect. That's exactly right. Now, do you feel any ticks and nicks and anything in there?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Right? So those are really small and you couldn't see them with your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
But with your fingernail, you were able to see them, right? So that's using your sensitivity of your body to really feel those tiny little things in there. The next way to look at the knife we call the 3-finger method of edge testing.
Okay.
You're going to put your thumb on the spine of the knife and 3 fingers on the edge and just slide your fingers very lightly. You don't need to press, just very lightly. Try that. Yeah. And you can feel where the edge is sharp or not sharp.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely like some little points that are a little bit less sharp, I suppose.
Again, you couldn't see that with your eyes.
Yeah.
But with the sensitivity of your fingers, you can see it. So now you've assessed the knife and you found that there are some little tiny ticks and nicks in it, but there's nothing so big that you can really see it with your eyes and it jumps out at you. And overall the knife looks pretty good. I would say. All right. Now the next thing you need to do is look and see if it's straight.
Okay.
Sight down the knife and use that. You can hold it yourself and sight right down the edge here and see if the edge is straight.
I mean,
Does the knife look bent?
Not really, no. It looks pretty straight.
Well, that's good. That's good. And then lastly, let's look at the side profile and look at the line of the edge. Is the line clean?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Right? Okay, so we want to maintain that.
Okay.
So there's not, any real major issues here that we have to deal with.
Yeah, it's just little ones.
Right? So we've now assessed the knife. Next thing we're going to do is thin the knife. Now this is a pretty thin knife, but as I always say, I rarely meet a knife that doesn't need thinning.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to try to remove some metal back here behind what we call the primary edge. So the primary edge is the one out here that does the cutting. And then what we call the secondary edge is back here behind the edge. And as the knife goes into the material, the primary edge opens the cut, but the secondary edge pushes the material apart. And it's really important to sharpen the secondary edge or thin the secondary edge so that you can have a nice thin edge that will cut smoothly through food. The next thing we're going to do is profile. We're going to tip it up and we're going to put the bevel on, the angle, the sharpening angle. We're going to put that on there. And then the last thing we're going to do is polish it. And that we'll use a finer stone here and polish out that edge and make it nice and clean and shiny. All right? Finally, at the very end, we're going to do a technique I call jointing, where you very lightly drag the edge over the top of the stone and cut off any little bits of material that are hanging on. And then we're going to strop to finish. You know the word strop?
No.
That's an old word. It's a tool that barbers use. It's a piece of leather, usually, a long piece of leather, and the barber takes a straight razor. They don't really use straight razors much anymore, and pulls the straight razor back and forth over the leather to clean it and get the edge lined up and really, really straight and thin. Okay, so that technique I call stropping, and it means pulling the edge over the stone rather than pushing the edge into the stone. All right, so that we'll go through all of that as we go here. So the first step is to learn how to hold the knife when you're sharpening.
Okay.
And this is not a bad height for you. It might be just, maybe an inch high. But generally, I tell people that the stone should be about 2 inches below your navel. And that, for me, would be about right where it is right here. But, that changes for various people. So if you can get on top of something, if you need to stand on, get something to stand up a little higher on, you want to be comfortable when you sharpen. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
And if you're a real tall person, you may need to raise the whole system up and get it, at a higher height. But I want you to hold the knife like a triangle.
Okay.
With the edge to the inside. And then switch it to your other hand and do the same thing.
Okay.
Right? And you can put your thumb right out here. Yes. Good.
Like that?
Now, well, you've got it kind of crooked. See that? Make it straight. Make it straight. Yeah. This line right here should be straight from your elbow to the point of the knife. See that? Point it. Feel the elbow to the point of your finger to the point of the knife, right? Like, yeah. Feel that? Try that. Bend your elbow a little bit. There you go. That looks much straighter, okay? So that is the way I want you to hold the knife when you're sharpening. And the main thing is not to bend your wrist.
Okay.
Okay, keep the wrist straight. Now, you're going to be able to rotate this way. That's right. And that's how you're going to control your sharpening angle.
Okay.
When we get to that profiling step, the first P. All right, now go to your left hand. Transition. Perfect. Yep, very good. Yep, get that feel. Make sure you feel it. Now notice a little bit. See that? You want that wrist to be straight and the same. Yep, that's it. That looks much better. All right, now let's just not touch the stone at all yet, but about an inch over the stone. Let's see about, you can leave it in that hand, it's fine.
Okay.
So step back just a little bit, there you go. No, maybe too much, we'll see. And without touching the stone, I just want you to get a sense of the motion that you're going to use to sharpen over here.
Okay.
All right?
So like this?
Yep. And stretch it out a little more. You want to get out to here and back to there. You know, you want to use the whole
So from
stone.
edge to edge.
Right?
Hang on.
Okay. Now bring your right hand in and put your right hand right there. Yep. And again, we don't want to bend it. We want to keep that hand nice and flat. And you want to keep these up. That looks good. Same thing in the air. And pull it back. All the way. Reach out a little more. There you go. Pull it all the way back. Reach out and pull it back. Keep the thumb up. The right thumb up. Keep that hand flat. Yes. That's it. Now switch hands. Perfect. That's exactly right. Slow. Don't be in a hurry. Just make a slow, even stroke. Good. All right. Now we're going to put some water on the stone. Like that. And I'm going to have you actually put the tool right down on the stone. Bring that finger in. And we're going to sharpen out and back. And we're going to thin the knife, so we're going to lower the angle almost flat. Go all the way flat and then just pick it up a little bit.
Okay.
Okay? That's it, right there. So you're not really at the edge. Keep going, you got it. Put this thumb right here. There you go. Okay. Now you want to try not to tick off the end here.
Okay.
You want to just kind of rise up. You don't want to tick off. And what that'll do is it'll chip the stone right here if you tick down. So you kind of want to just softly rise right up. Okay? It's okay. Take your time. Yeah, a little lower angle. You're starting to think about sharpening. We're still thinning.
Okay.
So keep that thumb right here. There you go. And get down low. Right down there. That's it. And you see the black? That's the metal coming off on the stone as you're sharpening. Now, get this hand flat and hold it down. There you go. Good. Good. Keep the angle low. Much better. That is stone sharpening right there. Watch those fingers.
Yeah.
And don't let that bend around like that. Keep that hand nice and flat. Yeah, if you need to straighten this up, what you do is pivot. I'll show you. You want to pivot on this finger.
Okay.
Right? So don't bend your arm around. Keep your arm in place and just pivot the knife in place. straighten that wrist. There you go. That's beautiful. Okay, now switch hands. So you want to start here and go out and back and out and back. And the pattern in the top of the stone is going to match. You're going to end up with a matching pattern. Almost. You want to keep this down on the hardy. Like that. There you go. You can move this hand back here. This hand, move that back to here. That'll help you maybe a little bit. Right. That looks better, much better. Don't bend that wrist, keep that wrist right. Good. Okay, now move these fingers out here to the other end. So you can do just this area right here. Go ahead and put the pressure down. That's it. See how you're working that one area? Right? And now move your fingers back a little bit. And you can work that area. See that? Good. Oh, that's excellent. Okay. So let's transition. Yep. This is probably the hardest thing to learn, to get your swing, get your motion. It's like a golf swing. You get your sharpening swing. And once you figure it out, it's really easy. And you can get better and better at it.
Yeah.
But the first few times you do it, it takes a little time. That's good. So you want to just, if you're going to move that, just that one area, then you can work that area like that. Yep, really good. Okay. Well, let's see how you're doing here. I'm going to look at the work just a little bit. And in fact, you see this white right here? That's behind the edge. That's really good. You're thinning the knife. That's just what you want to do. And you can see the stone is actually doing it. It's, you know, it's making the knife a little thinner right behind the edge. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
All right. So now that you've done that, you've thinned it out, I think what we want to do next is start profiling. So I'm going to have you tip your angle up just a little bit, and we're going to sharpen the whole bevel into the primary edge. All right? So go ahead, let's try. So about that angle. That's a good angle. Yep. Everything else is going to stay the same. Right, that's good. Don't keep picking up though. Try to keep it the same angle. And I really like that you're keeping your pinky and thumb up. That's for safety. That's a very, very good habit. You want to maintain that habit. Okay, transition. Yeah, you can hear it. You can hear the sound when it's, cutting. This is a fairly coarse grit stone. This is a 35 micron stone. It's in the 400 grit range.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a fairly coarse stone. It's not my coarsest stone, but it's a good coarse stone. Okay, now try moving this hand back a little. Yeah, right. Work the choil area. That's it? Yeah, you're doing good. Keep going. Okay. And now try the tip area. Yep. Now try to get the whole length of the blade. And tip to choil. That's it. Beautiful. Yeah. And when you get to when you get out here, you're going to need to make sure that
Doesn't
right.
flip off. Yeah.
Well, also look how it needs to kind of match right there
Yep.
with the surface. All right. Yep, that's it. Sounds great. Okay, let's transition. Perfect. Now let's check the edge. Use the 3-finger method of edge testing. Almost. Try it the other way. Put the knife handle in your right hand. Yeah. Turn the blade. Let me show you. Turn your hand this way. I think it's more comfortable.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Right? Yeah. Isn't that more comfortable? Have you sharpened all the way out to the edge? Do you feel rough teeth?
Kind of, a little bit.
Let me see.
I don't really know the difference as much.
Not quite. You're very close. And if I look at it, you're just right behind the edge. So let me jump in there for a moment. And I'm just going to...
That's a lot faster than me. Yeah, I'd be too scared to go that fast.
No, I don't want you to go that fast yet. So, now, test it. 3-finger edge testing method.
It looks a lot different. It feels like pretty smooth.
Do you feel little teeth?
A little bit.
Like a tiny little comb?
Yeah.
That's what you should feel. And what you're feeling is that's the grit coming through the edge, and it's a 400 grit. If we used let's say a 70 micron, a 200 grit stone, it would be even more toothy to the feel.
And you want that?
Well, yeah, it means you've gotten all the way out through the edge now. You've put a new edge on the knife.